Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I was going to do like a natural eyeshadow look today, but as you can tell by my voice, I'm not really feeling 100% the best. So today's video is actually going to be my updated everyday makeup routine. So it's what I would wear on an everyday basis, just like what products I'm using and what I'm not going to be using, because I found that some of those products, haven't worked for me, but these are the ones that are now currently still working for me and some that are new. So I will show you. Okay, so the primer that I have switched to now is actually from First Aid Beauty. It's the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. It's safe for sensitive skin, and we'll read a little bit about it. I guess it's allergy tested, no artificial fragrance. It does smell really good, actually. It kind of smells similar to Estee Lauder's Day Wear Moisturizer. So if you like that, this would be a really good primer to use. And I've noticed that it really has helped my skin with the redness. It's kind of toned it down. Made it a little bit easier for my foundation and everything else to stick to it. And it does help, for me, combat my oils in the summertime, because I've been using this for a while now. But then now in the winter, since it's getting colder, and I live in Michigan, so it's a little bit different. But in the winter, you need something hydrating, especially because here in Michigan, at least, I don't know how it is in other states that get cold, but here, hydrating stuff, it would be your best friend. And this is actually really good. I don't know how much it is, because I did get it in gratis. So I'm really not sure how much it is, but if I find out, I'll let you guys know in the next video. But this is probably your best bet. You need only like a little tiny bit. You really don't need a whole lot, but just use it very sparingly at least, because it's just like a facial moisturizer. You don't want to use too much of it. It's just like that. And I already did prime, so we'll just step into the concealer first, and I'll tell you why next. Okay, so the concealer that I use to this day now is the Morphe Fluidity Concealer, and it is in C145. This is a good shade for me all year round. It works really well for me. Doesn't, not too light, not too dark. And even in the summertime, this is really good for brightening the under eye for me. So I continue to use it. It's only a $9 concealer, so really you should want to use this. It's a really full coverage one as well. I found that it doesn't cake up on me. It may on somebody else, you never know. Different skin types, so it might be different, but for $9, you get a really good value for it. It lasts me about 3 months maybe to use this, and I use it every day. So if it lasts me 3 months for using it every day, or almost every day, like every other day really, it lasts me about 2.5 to 3 months, which is really good for a concealer. Generally, in the life expectancy of a concealer, it doesn't say what the months are for a concealer, but I would assume it would be like a general one. I think it's 12 months or 24 months, I'm not sure really, but this is what I do, and I'll show you how I apply it in the next clip. Okay, and the next step is my powder foundation. So you guys know that I love a powder foundation. I know I look a little bit crazy right now, but once I put this on, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I've continued to use this for now 3 years. So since I started really like wearing makeup and lightly doing it without anybody else knowing, this is really what I wear. And I love it. I would recommend it to literally probably anybody. It's a really nice coverage foundation. You don't have to wear a whole lot. It just kind of evens you out. It doesn't, in my opinion, it provides enough coverage for me to feel comfortable to walk outside because of all my redness. But you can definitely pack this on. I normally do. But this is the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in the shade NC20. Now, again, this is a good shade for me to wear all year round, really. Now, my foundation, like my liquid foundations, I have to change that because the one is like way too dark for me. But this can lighten up any foundation or just kind of provide a little bit more, not yellowiness, but, you know, a bit more cool tone to me, which I'm kind of liking a little bit more lately. But, you know, I'll show you how it looks after I'm done too. Okay, so as you can see, my face is now more evened out. It just looks, to me, a little bit better and less red. So, and this is what I like. But I think it looks pretty good considering the fact that it's a lighter coverage. And I noticed that I packed it on like in my face and right here and on my forehead area, but here I was doing it more sparingly just because I already had the concealer here, so you don't really need a whole lot there. But down here I kind of just, you know, swiped it and lightly dusted it. But because it blends in so well with my natural skin color, yes, I am this pale. So if you see me out and I look a little bit more tan, it's because it's not the correct shade and I want it to look a little bit more tan. But the next step is bronzer. And for the last, like, say maybe 6 months, I've been using the same bronzer. And the bronzer that I'm using is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Bali Sands. Now this one's a little bit lighter for me right now, but I probably would say that I would probably, you know, definitely buy another one, but in a darker shade, possibly. So I think I'm going to do that soon, but not right now because I'm a little bit broke. But I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to lightly dust it here, but contour more right here just to give my face a little bit more color. And this is what I would do. And to contour my nose, because I'm going to add a little bit of contour, a little bit more warmth towards the center of my nose, because it's looking a little bit pale. I'm going to still use the same thing for it, but I'll show you how I do that too. Okay, so the next step is going to be blush, and I use this very, very lightly, but it's the same blush that I've always used, and really the only blush that I use, so I should probably try different ones. But the one that I'm using is Sweet Enough. It's a mineralized blush by MAC. I've had this now for like 6 months or so. Hopefully it's not expired, because if it is, I don't really think I can afford to get a new one. But yeah, I'll show you how I do my blush lately. Alright, so as you can see, I have my blush on now. I kind of feel a little bit more complete and a little bit nicer, you know. But then the highlighter that I'm going to be using is also a MAC one. But sometimes I switch it out for, if I'm doing my natural makeup, I'll do this too. There's actually 4 of them that I'll use. So the one that I normally would use sometimes, or one of the 4, is the MAC Double Gleam Extreme Dimension Skin Finish. This is one that works best as sometimes as a base highlighter, and then adding another like really glittery one if you really want to go there with the extraness, which is me most of the time, so I do that a lot. But I'll use this one sometimes. Or I will use my newer one from Jeffree Star, which is the Supreme Frost Frozen Peach highlighter. It's a really nice one just to kind of like add on top of things, or just add that really nice like wet highlight look. And I think I'm probably going to opt out for this one today, but it's a little bit different. And then I have one from Fenty Beauty. It's the Duo Kilowatt highlighters in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. As you can see, I love this shade. It's a really bright one, but then they have like a base highlighter just to kind of give you a base glow, which is this one here, which is Lightning Dust. The one that I use a lot is Fire Crystal, so. But those are 3 of the 4. And the 4th one is actually a Becca highlighter, which is in the shade Moonstone. Excuse me. Yeah, that's my reality lately. But as I said, I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone. So it kind of looks like this. It's really light. It's like a shade lighter than Champagne Pop. So for those of you who know Champagne Pop, I generally opt for these two because the Becca goes with the Becca bronzer sometimes. So it's a little bit lighter. This one, you know, Jeffree Star does highlighters so well, it's really not even funny. And I don't use a brush for this. I just go in with my finger. And the one I'm going to go in with is this one here. So I'll show you that. Okay, so generally I would have 3 steps left, which would be brows, lashes, and lip gloss. Because I got the base out of the way. You can skip lip gloss some of the time, just, you know, clean up your lip a little bit. Maybe put on a lip balm if you want to kind of put something on your lips, because even in the wintertime, you want to make sure your lips are moisturized instead of cracked and, you know, ugly like mine are right now. But I'm going to start out with brows. And what I've been using lately for brows is the Anastasia Taupe Powder Duo. It is the powder brows, and I use it on a Anastasia brush. I will tell you guys all the brushes that I use after I'm done with everything, so you guys can kind of see what brushes I use on a daily basis. So, but I use this for that. Okay, so you can see I have my brows on. I look a little bit better. Now, on a normal day, if I'm running late, this is exactly how I would leave the house. I would not put on any mascara. I would not put on any lip gloss. In today's video, I won't be putting on any mascara because I'm running a little bit low on time. But the lip gloss that I'm using now is the Jeffree Star Lip Gloss, the gloss, in Legends Only. I was using another one, but I went to the Morphe store a couple days ago to see if I could, possibly get one that I like, and they are out of it all over the place, which is sad because that's the one that I would use on a literally everyday basis, every day. But this one's really nice, especially if I just want to put on a gloss. This is really moisturizing, actually. And if I don't have any of this on and just my brows, I'll usually put this on just to tone down the pinkness of my lips, and it works really well. So I'll show you how that goes too. Okay, so now I have the gloss on, so you can kind of see, like, the look forming a little bit, and this is definitely how I would leave the house today, and this is how I plan on leaving the house. But the mascara that I'm using, I was using the Pat McGrath Labs one, but since it's a little bit expensive for me, I switched to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Voluminous, and I noticed that it was waterproof, and I don't really like waterproof mascaras. One, because you can tell that I still have it on after I clean my face like 2 and 3 times. I still can't get it off. So I don't really like to use waterproof mascaras. I like to use non-waterproof. But if you're looking for a good drugstore mascara, this is my #1 drugstore mascara for me. And then obviously the more expensive brands, higher end, I would recommend Pat McGrath Labs over any mascara, because that is the best mascara in my opinion, at least. Because even on days like this where I want to do natural, that worked literally perfect. But on the drugstore side, the non-waterproof version of this is the best one to use. So next, I'll tell you the literally probably 5 brushes that I use. So you notice that I started out with my concealer. My concealer brush is always going to be a Morphe M173. The reason I like this is because it's a little buffer brush. I can do circular motions or I can swipe and it still blends it out. And I feel like this is the best brush that I could use for that, so that's why I use that. Now, for a powder, and just to kind of blend out blushes and stuff, I do use one brush, just because I feel like it works better and it blends because it already has a product before on, so it works really well. But the brush that I'm using is actually a MAC brush, and that is the 429 SES. It's from the Peck Hyman collection. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong, but I just thought that the brush looked really cool, so I normally use that. But generally I use a packing brush, like a really dense brush, so I can pack on the pigment and it looks a little bit better, in my opinion at least. Now for contour. I have been using this for a long time and I need to get another one for myself. But the brush that I'm using is pretty much all of the brushes that I use are Morphe brushes, but except for 2. And this brush is a Morphe, and it is an M405. I like it because it's shaped like a blush brush, but it has an angle so you can really get your contour correct. And I like to use it as a bronzer brush too, just because it fits my forehead almost literally perfectly, and I can just buff straight across if I'm going quick. So it kind of is a nice, quick, easy brush. And then for nose contour, I absolutely love this brush. I actually got it in the James Charles brush set, but you can buy it separately, so you don't have to spend all that money for the brush set. And the brush that I use for that is the E62 brush, and it is like an angled brush, because you can get right here and just go straight down, and it works perfectly, blends it out great too. I think they're like $4 and $5, so it's really cheap. Don't really have to spend a whole lot on a nose contour brush. But the eyebrow brush that I've been using now for, God, I don't even know how long, is an Anastasia brush. It is the brush 14. It's really small. I like this one, but I think I might have to get the bigger one just because it doesn't really, you know, it's big, but it's not too big. But I like a pretty big brush, so I can just go boom, done, you know, one swipe across, because I'm quick and I don't like to use a whole lot. But this is a little bit more precise. It's better for, you know, around your tail area of your brow, so I would definitely recommend this brush still, but any one of her brushes or eyebrow products are going to be the best to use. But this is how I would look every day when I would walk out of the house. I do hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.